What's up? What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Every Man is a Millionaire. This is your hustling godfather, Glendon. This stream should not be supported. Let me make sure that we've got this correct. That's funny. Because what we're going to talk about is the science of hustling, how you make money becomes an addiction. That's a hard one to change. That's going to be very, very interesting for some of y'all. So we're going to talk about this in a way that I've never really talked about it before. I'm going to explain why you have people who are making money on Amazon, who are making money on eBay, who are making money on Craigslist, have such a hard time changing up and making a different way of living, having a different way of setting this up. All right, so this is the science of hustling, and this is very, very important. I talked about letting one letting one income stream disappear and going to one that did not make as much money as this stream did. Now, that's really, really hard for people because first time I did it, and it was when I came out of the storage auction business, and I had people on YouTube talking stuff. It's like, well, if I made that much money, I would have never quit. I would have never quit. Oh, you're lying, man. You're a fake. But I made a choice, and I should give you the particular framework of how this choice was made. I almost died. 4 bleeding ulcers. If I didn't go on the booty call, I would have died in my sleep. So that really changed how I looked at life. It really changed that the choices that I made, and it changed me as a person because it's like, I'm gonna do stuff that's gonna make me happy. So I come out the storage auction business because I've always wanted to be a writer. I always wanted to communicate with people, and this is what something YouTube gives me the ability to do in spades, and I'm happy. And a lot of people don't look at the currency of happy. They look at like, I need money. But once again, I live in an abundance mindset world, whereas many of these folks live in a lack mindset. If I was making that kind of money, matter of fact, I was having a conversation with a sibling, and he said little money. What people say when they talk about money tells you a lot because, he was like, I can retire anywhere in the country. I said, I can retire anywhere in the world. What you got, player? What you got? Part of it is you have to look forward in the future. You have to go, if I give this up, which I have, is this going to be better over here? And each time that I've done this, it was better, I was happier, and I made way more money. Way more money. I made more money doing the YouTube thing and the book thing than I ever did in the storage auction business. And like, I made a pretty penny last year consulting, but I know, not feel, not think, not even hope, I know that I'm going to make more money doing this. And when I started to do this, how many of you believe that when this palm itches, money's coming? How many of y'all know that old wives' tale? Well, for me, it's true. When I launched Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skill, the other channel started putting videos, my palm itched all day long. It's been a long time since it itched because I've been making money. And I knew I was making money. But this is like, more money is going to come in your life. More money is going to be in your life. And that's very, very exciting. That's tremendously, tremendously exciting. So part of what happened with me is I learned how to live an abundance mindset, and even when the abundance isn't readily on the plate. This is what some of you are going to have to do, because some of you are already doing what makes you happy, so there's no reason to change. But you have to look at the long game. Short-term gains, this is how a lot of companies get in trouble. This is how a lot of companies have problems. Like GE, the new CEO came in. He started looking at short-term gains. Jeff Bezos has never allowed Wall Street to dictate his moves. You see the benefit. Like I said, look back in the history, people talk junk about Amazon. People said stuff was crazy with Amazon. People were like, I don't know about Amazon. Is it going to make it? Laughed at the stock price. Now Amazon's like, well, Amazon's the best thing in the world. Oh my God, Amazon's the greatest thing in the world. Oh my God, I did not know. And then they had this situation where now they're the biggest online retailer and they have 50-something% of all internet online sales. He went for the long game. So how does one go from short-term gains to long-term gains? Number one, you have got to get your ass out of debt, because when you're in debt, your debt predicts and predicates your decisions. You may want to go to New York and try your hand at Broadway, but because you got a mortgage, you got 2 car notes, you got student loan debts, you got credit card payments, you can't leave this to go do this until all this stuff is handled. And most people live in a cycle of debt. They never get it paid off. They're always in a cycle of owing money to someone, which enslaves you, which puts shackles on your wrist and your wallet, and you can't escape the regular life. You can't get out of there, because this is one of the things. I personally do not carry a lot of debt. I carry short-term debt, but no long-term debt. And short-term debt is like a month at the most, typically, because I'm doing some other business moves. Typically, I pay my credit cards off every week. Now, because it's summer, it's slowed down, so I would have to pull money out of savings to do that. Plus, I'm spending a lot of money, too. I'm spending a lot of money because this week my statement cut. I think I owe $2,000 on the credit card. No, I actually paid that off because I went probably 2 or 3 weeks longer than I normally do because it's summer and I'm running everything out of cash flow. I'm not trying to do stuff out from other monies because, once again, you got to segment your money. This money over here is for this purpose and this purpose only. This money's over here is for this purpose and this purpose only. And that's how you stay always having money. That's how you always stay having money. Now, part of how this thing is situated is your mindset. And this is why I always say to the kids, start your business now. You're 16, start your business now. If you are 16, get the Hustlers LLC now. Go ahead and make the investments, prepare yourself, set yourself up. Because once you start getting married and having kids, this stuff becomes extremely hard. Extremely. I know you see the movies. I know you see the ads like, well, I did this for my family. I got a video on Disruptive Male talking about how that is nonsense. It is easier to scale and build by yourself than when you have kids. It's easier. I'm just saying from experience, it's easier. I've been in that situation. Married, 2 kids, only source of income. I didn't even have time to dream. I was always working, putting in those hours. And a lot of y'all are going through that right now. You want to start a business. You want to get your hustle on, but you got these obligations. And it's hard. I know it's hard. So one of the things you need to do is to go ahead and get out of debt. And the second thing you need to do is create a written plan. Create a written plan. Create a written plan. Create a written plan. And operate off of this plan. Give you a case in point. I have a written plan for not putting ads on this channel and just going with the super chat and the course sales, which nice little segue. And it's also, be sure to go below the video and get the Never Broke Action Pack, the tools you need to thrive in the next recession. It's 60% off today. Use the code word HUSTLE. Links and stuff is below. And if you're not going to do that, super chat throw off those super chats. $10 or more. Love you. Appreciate you like a motherfucker. All right. The big thing is that I've come to understand that many people have never been in a situation where they can sit, think, and ponder without financial ramifications. That I'll tell you about me before I got here. I was in a situation where I couldn't take a day off unless it was with paid leave. I could not take a day off. That's how tight it was. I had to have all my check. I actually got in tax trouble because I put my dependents at like 6 to get all my money. And then I had a tax lien. Oh yeah, I had all those problems because I had to have all my money. I had to have all my money. And I never had the time like I do now just to sit and ponder. I would sometimes lay in bed and just wonder, lay in bed for an hour and just think about, okay, what about this? What about that? I just didn't have that kind of time. It was just feet hit the floor, got to get out the door, got to get to work, got to clock in, got to make these moves, got to do these labs. I was on that cycle. There was a 2-year period. I worked 7 days a week for 2 years and never missed a day. Not because I wanted to, not was because I was trying to stack money to do something greater. I had to do it. That is the craziness. And for you guys, I don't want you to live like that. That's why I'm talking to my young people, my millennials. Y'all need to get off your ass and get started hustling now. Now. Don't wait. Don't think because you young and cool, you can hang out all night, brush your teeth in the morning, still look good the next day at work. That shit ain't going to last forever. You need to be using that energy and time to build something, to really build. Because what happens is whatever way that you learn how to make money and you become good at it, it's hard to leave that. Many people do not leave their source of income until they are forced out, health issues, or the company goes out of business or something like that. Or they're fired. These are the times that people leave that source of income because they know how to make money and they become comfortable making money that way. They don't have to think. They don't have to stress themselves. They don't have to do anything new. That ain't going to work in this new economy. You're going to have to learn and unlearn, learn and relearn. And this is going to be a constant cycle for the rest of your life because technology is like a big red lawnmower that has a V8 and turbos and it's just mowing people down who are not ready. You got to get your money. You got to get your money. So go ahead, throw off some super chats up in here and let me get in these comments. Let's see what's going on. Man, we got a lot of comments. What's up, Stefan? You up in here early. Oh, Mr. Sander, break yourself for the likes. Mr. G's talking life today. Oh, this is a whole new, and this fits into learning. Like on Sundays, right? I would do like 2 or 3 streams, but I would do them like throughout the day. Well, I'm trying something new. I'm going to do them all in the morning and see what happens because you got to take experiments. You got to try to do stuff because there's how you feel that something's going to happen. But until you do it, you're not going to know how it's going to happen. Well, if this works out, I'm going to do it every Sunday. Yeah, I put it up for 10, but I was like, it is a streamathon. It is. Only real hustles make it through. Here for the marathon, Mrs. Fuller. That's funny. Kuna, I have a more abundant life. I don't want what anyone else has. Abundant mindset. Cool. The Wild Jones report. Ben's got all kinds of stuff. That's cool. Johnny One, how do I get the itchy palm? The itchy palm comes when you set off a chain of events that money's coming in your future. Because when I was doing that, because when I renamed this channel, Every Man is a Millionaire, my palm started itching like crazy. I haven't felt that in years, really, because I've been ahead of my needs. And this is, like I said, it itched for an hour. I was like, oh my goodness, we on to something. Yes, I believe in the metaphysical. That's funny. Been the bartender. I have a lot of phone photographer experience. Do the reselling. Cool. FU money gives you freedom, Edward. Yes, it does. Ganja, but they complain about the mortgage and house and maintenance costs. It's no one makes you buy a house. I think that you should be ready to have kids. Kids don't ask to come here. That's something that we do to the kids, and you should be prepared for them. Pamela C., you so right about debt. There are so many things I want to do personally and business-wise, but my debt shackles me. I'm busting my ass to pay it off. I do have a strict budget. I mean, that is one of the biggest reasons that people can't have the lives they want, because they're trying to dull the pain by buying all this stuff. What's up, Robbie Rob? Now, that's a cool plan, Robbie Rob. Work on your debt, but also create a plan to make more money at the same time. You're really going to knock that debt out. Pretty much, Stefan, you need to start that stuff now. Jacqueline Jenkins, I make money by building up my money. You make your money work for you. Awesome. It is a trap. Well, that's one of the biggest problems. I mean, that happened to me. The whole time I was married, I had these dreams and ambitions. I couldn't do it. And after being thrust in that boarding house where I had a lot of time to think and write up plans and do stuff, it was like, oh, I can make some moves here. I can actually do some stuff that's a little different. This is interesting. Yeah, I only been here. August will start my 10th year or 9th year, one of them. That's true. Now it's a test, Pamela. It's a test. Steve Jamerson, you got to crush that Plan B and put in your orange juice. That's wild. Justin, no, it don't work like that. AKW Beats, I used the Facebook sourcing strategy for 30 days to 2,500. I got a whole bunch of shit to sort through now. Thomas Dickin, that's real talk. Money's tight. I mean, that I was there. I remember one time I was going, I had a car. I had a Nissan Stanza, which y'all hear about in the next live stream at Disruptive Mail. My first car ever. Paid it off. I'll tell that story. But it got old and the gas gauge stopped working. So I had to guesstimate how much gas I had. So had no money, had my daughter with me. That was my off day during the middle of the week. I was going to work to pick up my check because I needed my money, and my car ran out of gas with my daughter in the back seat. This kind man, I mean, instantly we started walking, right? This dude literally picks us up. I'm like walking for 30 seconds. Picks up, he says, any man with a little baby, he got to be all right. Man gives me money, to get gas and stuff, and he refuses. I was like, what's your address? He said, just call it a good deed, and he drove off. That's how broke I was. And it's scary knowing what I know now, like, good Lord, how did I let it get so bad? But I didn't know any better. And this is where I know a lot of you people are. And I'm not saying this to talk down to you. I'm saying this that you got to do something extraordinary to break these shackles, because what's coming is going to catch so many people off guard that you're just going to get crushed by it. And I don't say this, but some of you need to go ahead and file bankruptcy now. You know, it's not something I'm pushing. You know, you should pay your debts, but some of you need to go ahead and file bankruptcy, Get that process going. Take your money and stack it up and build a business, because this next recession is going to be a motherfucker. You see what it's doing to retail. That sector is in an economic depression right now, and it's going to spread and vibrate throughout the whole economy. Let's see. Philip Hudson, increasing my VA disability 20%. Hey, that's extra money. I got a friend, he gets like $780 a month. Stadium says I was taught to go make those money moves first and go back and then may pay the student debt off. I'm going to say, here's the problem with that. You got an obligation that's like a 10, 15-year obligation. And there's interest associated with that. So the sooner you pay it off, the less money you pay overall. Because a lot of people are trying to hustle with a lot of debt, and sometimes it works out. But most of the time, it don't work out. Yes, I would suggest getting roommates to free up some startup money all day long. I did that stuff when I was in the East Point house. AKW Beats, I bought a K-Cup for $30 and sold it for $100. I'm addicted now. The addiction is real. I'm going to talk about that some more in a minute once I get through all these comments. Yeah, I know it's kind of shady, but some people, you're just going to get buried, and you got to do emergency things in emergency situations. And now Dr. Funk filed bankruptcy in the last recession, because what's going to happen is if you're barely paying your bills now, then this recession comes and you lose your job, you're already there. You just hadn't legally filed it. Hey, release and don't beat yourself up over mistakes in the past. Learn from them, get your money up. Absolutely. The recession has started in sectors, because this is how every recession starts. It starts in a sector first, then spreads out. Like, let's take retail, and I'm going to get into the addiction methodology in a minute. Retail, so when these stores close, then these real estate companies have all this space, and these real estate companies don't get money, and these real estate companies don't get money, then they don't have money to invest, and they don't have money to invest, and people don't get hired. You see how it's a wicked chain of events. So the more stores that close, the more real estate is freed up, the less money real estate companies have to invest in new real estate. Then they don't hire construction workers, they don't hire leasing it. I mean, it's just going to spread. Like, you throw that pebble in the middle of the pond, and then at some point it's all across the pond, that one little pebble. All right, so once again, these talks are supported by super chats and the buying the courses, so you can get the Never Broke Action Pack, the tools you need to thrive in the next recession. Under the video, 60% off using the code word hustle, or you can super chat $10. Okay, so let's get into the addiction. And where's my Apple Pencil? Aha. All right, so this is what happens. And this is one of the things that happens to storage auction people. This happens to resellers, is you get what I call the thirst. All it takes is one good hit. For me, I was doing fine, but I wasn't addicted to storage auctions until I spent this, and I made that, because I still have a lot of the gold. So when that happened, you get into a state of trying to repeat that hit. And you may never ever repeat that again. I hit like that about 32 times out of buying maybe 1,500 storage units. So that's not even a full percentage point. So what happens is, once you learn how to skill, because the thing is, we're taught that not knowing how to do something out the box, not being super hip and smooth out the box, that somehow that's lame. So people don't like to work. People don't like to learn. So once like people get out of college, I got my degree, I'm done, I'm fine. But some of these people went to college 10, 15, 20 years ago, have not learned a new skill. They're going to be the most vulnerable. Anyone that's not learning a new skill will be vulnerable. So once that thirst hits you, you got a hook in your mouth. You are so addicted to that way of making money because, especially if you're poor, especially if you don't have any exposure, and especially if you don't have any other opportunities, you will spend thousands to keep that going. You will just you'll be doing crazy stuff to keep that going. You'll be buying units because I got to a point where I got addicted to buying storage units. Even though I had 20 units, I had to move. I'm working to 12 o'clock at night. I'm still out there buying units because I'm still chasing that high. And this happens to certain jobs. Like you get people who go to law school and they spend all this money becoming an attorney. And then unless it don't work out. Now, if it don't work out, they will change careers in a heartbeat. But if it does work out, it's very hard for them to move on to something else. Doctors, very hard for them to move on to something else. Hustlers, it's very hard for them to move on to something else. So once you become addicted to the way that you make money, then you could be fucked because in this changing economy, the way that you make money is always changing. So if you refuse to change, it's just over. It's just over. And the addiction is real. And I see this with resellers because when I came out the game, I had people who were questioning my credibility, who was just like, well, you ain't nothing. And what's funny is a lot of those people now is like, man, I wish I had followed you. So that's how it is. All right. Make sure. Yeah, we got one more. And this is going to be a disruptive mail. So this is what's going to be here. Put that there. Thank you, Prince Diamond, for the $10 super chat. 99 Dr. Funk, appreciate you. So let me show you what's coming up next. And it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Female nature. I bought my mother a car and later on she disrespected me. This just seems very fitting for a Sunday. Because this is a crazy, crazy story. But that'll be the next one. And I'll be over there in about 5 minutes. So, the link is in the chat. Thomas Dixon, I mean, here's the thing, and here's the template. If you're barely making all your bills, you have absolutely no money over, and if you were to lose your job, you would get instantly behind by several hundred or a few $1,000s. Essentially, what I would do is I would go by, what do I need? You got a mortgage? Keep your house because you ain't going to be able to get another one for about 7 to 10 years. Well, that ain't true, but it'll be hard. Car, keep your car and jettison everything else and get on a strict ass budget and get you some money and start you a business. Apple Mac. I know the first time I traded commodities back in the day, I made $1,500 and I was hooked. It happens, man. It happens. So once again, I'm about to end this and we'll be going over to Disruptive Mail. Thank you guys for the super chat. Once again, be sure to get the Never Broke Action Pack, which is here. It's links below. You can get 60% off today only. And I will see you guys at the next video. Be sure to subscribe, share this video with someone you feel that needs it. And I'll see you over at Disruptive Mail.